For those of you who didn't already know, 2b2t is what is known as an anarchy server. This means that there are no rules whatsoever. Hacking is allowed, griefing is allowed, and you can say whatever the hell you want in the chat. I thought it might be cool to make a video on this server, so I joined it and I was greeted by a 7.5 hour queue. The first thing you're supposed to do when you get onto the server is find a nether portal, which is supposed to be kind of hard to do, but I found mine in like literally 30 seconds. The reason you're supposed to do this is because every block you travel in the nether translates 8 blocks in the overworld, and your first goal is to get out of the hell dimension that is the spawn of 2b2t, so you want to travel as fast as possible. When I entered the nether, I was greeted by this guy and a lot of obsidian, and then I fell off the map like an idiot. And just like that, I was back where I started, and as I made my treacherous journey through the overworld, I was greeted by lots of withers and swastikas. And at long last, after like 2.5 minutes of walking, I found another nether portal. But this time would be different. I learned my lesson, and I wasn't going to fall to my death. This time though, I really had learned my lesson. I was gonna get blocks so that I wouldn't have to make any jumps in the nether. Therefore, I would have no chance of falling to my death. Yeah, the nether portal that it spawned me into was completely blocked off by obsidian, and all I had was a dirt block, so I couldn't mine it, so I was stuck there forever. I also couldn't access the chat to /kill myself, so I was basically at the mercy of the other players around me. I had 2 options here. 1, wait for maybe somebody to take pity on me and let me out, or 2, log out and log back in and hope that I'm not in the same place. But keep in mind that there's a 7.5 hour queue to get back in. So I was pretty much screwed, since the chances of a player letting me out just out of the kindness of their heart on this server was little to none. So I started thinking, and I was like, wait a minute, I have a hack client. Maybe I can find a hack that'll help me out of here. So I started pressing keys, and eventually I pressed U, which toggles a hack called freecam, which lets me see everything around me. I can't actually interact with anything because my body is still back in the portal, but I can see the people who trap me, which doesn't really help me because they're not letting me out. Then I thought that I could try and phase out of my little nether portal cage so that one of the players would be forced to kill me and send me back to spawn, but that didn't work either. But eventually this guy, I don't know if he took pity on me or something, but he let me out. Since they didn't immediately try to kill me, I decided it was best that I make a run for it, but that didn't last too long since one of them blew me up. And just like that, I was back in the overworld for round 4. I found another nether portal quickly after that, but I was very skeptical about going back into it because I thought I would get trapped again. I decided to go back in and was relieved to see that it was just normal and not a trap. After that, I walked for a while, and then I happened upon a pig spawner, which was great for me because I needed food if I was going to go much further. I decided to try and mine the dirt blocks next to it for just extra blocks if I had to bridge or something. But earlier I accidentally activated a hack called Speed Nuker, which I guess the anti-cheat on this server blocks, and so it kicked me, and I was back in queue for another 7.5 hours. 7.5 hours later, except really like 18 hours because I went to bed, I was back and I mined the dirt block with the hack turned off, and everything went fine. If I hadn't have been such an idiot, maybe I would have been able to stay logged in. After that, I just walked for a long time, probably like 3,000, 4,000 blocks. And because we're in the nether, that translates 8 times in the overworld. So I was now like 20,000 blocks away from spawn. Now, in the grand scheme of things, 20,000 blocks is not that far, but it's far enough that I wouldn't be in the wasteland of spawn anymore, and I would have a chance of finding food. So I took the nearest nether portal and was very happy to see that I was no longer in a wasteland, although I did get freaked out because I saw 2 obsidian right in front of me when I spawned, and I thought I had been trapped again. And on my search for food, I found the biggest swastika I'd seen so far, which just made me wonder who put all the time into building that. After a few minutes of walking, I found wood, which was great because I could make tools now. They were terrible wooden tools, but I didn't care, man, because this meant that I could go mining or something and do something other than just try to escape spawn. When I was x-raying looking for dungeons, I found this guy's abandoned mining shack, which is great. I stole all of his stuff and just pillaged everything. Now I had stone tools, which is like literally nothing, but felt like a lot because for the past hour or so I had been happy to see grass blocks. I still had yet to find food, but I did find some other stuff like this cool tower. There was still no food in sight though, and I decided that this was because I hadn't gone far enough, so I went back into the nether, back up to the nether highway, and ran for like another 20 minutes. After like 20 minutes, I found another nether portal, which took me straight underground, which was great because I kind of wanted diamond tools, and normally this might take a while, but I have X-ray since hacks are allowed. And I had enough diamonds for a pickaxe in like 20 seconds and enough for a full set in like 2 minutes. With my snazzy new diamond tools, I felt pretty cool. Cool enough, in fact, to just keep on looking for food, which I did not find for a while longer. And I learned the hard way that leaves don't drop apples when you use shears on them. So then I just started pillaging every dungeon I saw, and like most of them had nothing in them because players had been there long before me. But this one had bread in it, which was so great because now I had like a little bit of food, not much because each bread thing gives you like 3 hunger bars. Yeah, it was rough. Here's another cool clip of me finding nothing. I decided to go back into the nether, but this time I was really prepared. I had 2 pieces of bread, unenchanted diamond gear, and a water bucket, which was definitely going to come in handy because water buckets don't work in the nether. After walking for like way too long, I found a pig spawner, which I was more happy than I should have been about, considering that it was, pixel pigs in a Lego video game. But you know what? I was happy because I had food, and that meant that I could sprint now, and I was just going so much faster than walking. It made me once again happier than it should have. After walking for like 20 more seconds, I found a fully enchanted, almost maxed out pickaxe and sword, which just made me wonder, like, who left these here? Why? I don't deserve this. But you know what? I took them. And then I got really scared and put them in an ender chest so that they wouldn't disappear when I died. I then took a much smaller and less defined path than the highway I was on so that no one would be able to find my base, and left the nether. I'm not going to show you where I left the nether so you don't come and grief my base, but I set up a base and I put my bed down and all my stuff down, and I was so pleased, even though I could have done the same thing in survival Minecraft a lot easier and with much less swastikas. Okay, so what did I actually think of the server? Well, I thought that the spawn area was cool and that it was cool what 10 years of no rules whatsoever has done to the world. But other than that, I do not see the appeal of playing consistently on this server. Because once you're far enough away from spawn that nobody's going to bother you, it's just like playing survival Minecraft, except there's a really annoying chat and it's laggier. But if you just want to get on to check out the things the players have made and walk around spawn, I would highly recommend that. I had a lot of fun just walking around spawn in the nether highways and stuff, but keep in mind it does take like 8 to 12 hours to get in. Okay, that's the end of the video. Check out this other video by me in the upper right where I just complain about the lag on Hypixel, and in the upper left where let's see, what's my other video? I build a house in Wurst. That's a good one. And then click there to subscribe to me. All right, bye. This is a quality outro. Don't judge me.